And thanks the chair of our board, Rick, and everyone that has attended even from this morning. There's lots of thank yous. I'm not going to spend 30 minutes wrapping up a whole day of really interesting conversations and as you put, accountability in some regards. I see many, many familiar faces, and I have wrapped up with three things. One, leadership, ultimately, we've been hearing about it a whole week. Leadership requires trust. But ultimately, trust comes with people, right? And we forget about sometimes the patient. Yodi, you described, I remember the clinic of the indignity of women. Yet we've seen that for many, many years, right? That a pelvic exam was the only way to diagnose or screen for cervical cancer. And we forget also about the healthcare worker that ultimately needs to have the tools, the knowledge, and the time of the value of diagnostics is now. Post-COVID, as Ken, where are you? Your grandchildren know about it, but it's also the value of the outcome of those tests is critical. When my sons do not want to test because that means maybe not going back to school, it's critical to understand perhaps that a test is only valuable if you're going to act on that result, right? And to act appropriately, you need medicines. I'm a pathologist by training, and we were very proud to know that between a clinician and the good outcome to a patient was always a good diagnosis, right? And today we know that. But there's two other things to be noted around innovation. So it's not only innovative financing, but today we see huge advances in laboratory technology, where there's making more robust next generation sequencing, miniaturizing, digitalizing lateral flows. But also we are at the cusp of that revolution of where digital AI or machine learning is going to even improve further the value of diagnostics. But sorry, I'm pointing out at you because your data on 60, over 1 million scanners in Switzerland versus 20 or 30. Now, the problem is the inequity, as you pointed out, Daniel, with shrinking funding, is getting wider and wider for the countries that I come from and that FINE cares about. But I think digital AI-enabled diagnostics and acceleration of technologies that are making testing, or whether it's NGS, more affordable, is what we need to really pay attention. Because if we just keep it the way it is today, Ken, and we meet another year, that gap is going to get wider and wider. Now, you brought politics. This week has been all about politics. But again, going back to trust, right? If the treaty had trust and the people that are around this table or this room, which the village has increased, it's great, you're right. 5-10 years ago, civil society wasn't even part of this discussion. Yodi, 5-10 years ago, low-income countries weren't even part of this discussion either, right? And I think there is some messages or some move that is starting to look a little bit more positive. But the bit that I'm most worried is about funding. And I think innovative funding used to be, as I said earlier in the morning, an excuse for when there was no money. So we needed to think about innovative ways of using other people's money. But I think innovative financing here is efficiencies in the funding that exists that will require the village that is here today, from our colleagues from WHO, our colleagues from industry are here today. That was also pretty rare a few years ago because there was this perception that, they were the dark side, right? Now, without manufacturing or the private sector, this would not happen either. And we need to recognize that there needs to be healthy dialogues that industry, manufacturers, and companies that require guarantees, if you want, or profit, are part of the discussion too. Now, I'm in between you and drinks, and I just want to conclude by thanking the FINE team that it has been behind this amazing meeting today to many friends from WHO, from industry, from civil society, and from funding bodies. Oh, and Sebastian is here. I haven't seen you in a while. That it's a family, it's a tribe that will make this happen. And I'm glad that this village is getting bigger and more impactful. Thank you. Yodi.